86% of Republicans approve of the job that Donald Trump is doing at this point.
The president, when he called me Tuesday night, the night of the hearing, when he was mad as a murder hornet.
You may have heard the president say just a little while ago that we have sunk or destroyed 24 ships. That was true at the moment. We're now up over 30 ships.
And good morning. It is 8:07. Welcome to the Neil Larson Show. It is a Friday, and yes, we will, a little later in the program, open up the phone lines wide open, and it is a pretty good smorgasbord of topical matter today. Of course, Kristi Noem, who is was, I should say, the Secretary of Homeland Security, she's out. And there's a war of words over how it should be characterized. And I got to tell you, don't take this the wrong way. She was fired. I know that's the word the Democrats want to use. And I've seen a handful of conservative pundits saying, they're lying to you. She wasn't fired. She was reassigned. When you hold a cabinet level position and you are moved, not laterally, there's not a lateral move. A lateral move would be to the Department of fill in the blank. Not even that would necessarily be a lateral move, but you know what I'm saying. It would be another cabinet position. No, she was moved to a position none of you or I have ever heard of before until yesterday. The Western Shield Envoy something. And so this was not a simple lateral reassignment for Kristi Noem. And I'm not sure why our conservative pundits feel like they have to put it forward as such. I think the president reassigned her to something because, if he had just fired her and then she was out on her own, then that does look worse. But she was fired, so let's not get let's not pretend that's not what happened. It all started with John Kennedy in a hearing when there was a growing sense of frustration with Kristi Noem. And not so much with her job as Homeland Security, but it started to feel like maybe she was utilizing that position to further and aggrandize herself. And I think that was the concern. $200 million ad campaign encouraging self-deportation, but she was prominently featured in it. And that's not what it's about. You can't really repurpose a federal agency ad campaign into a political campaign style thing. So I think that was part of the problem. I also think, and I'll play the clip here in a moment, but I do want to set the table. We'll get to that because that's probably one of the premier national stories this morning. And I do think the Democrats are completely overblowing this because people come and go all the time. It's happened with every presidency, and they think this is signs that Trump's administration is falling apart. No, it is not. Trump is flying high and at rapid pace and accomplishing an immense amount, and he'll continue to do so. So tough crap if you don't like that, but that's what Trump's doing right now. And we're going to get to some of the polling numbers a little bit later, too, because he is doing incredibly well, especially among Republicans, better than other presidents have done among their own party. We also have some legislative news that we want to get to. House Bill 745 attracted the votes of about 3/4 of the Republicans. And it passed overwhelmingly. And basically, this bill says you can't use taxpayer money for union activity. Now, I will tell you, you know me, I am not a fan of unions. I think in some trades, they have their place. Okay, I'm not going to start a war with the pipe fitters union. I'm not going to start a war with the plumbers but I will say that teachers' unions are one of the most toxic and political organizations that we have in politics today. And the Idaho Education Association is no exception to that. They are very politically active, and I had no idea. I didn't look at the exact relationship and where the taxpayer dollars flow prior to this. And let me ask you this question. You don't have to answer. I don't care if you text in. That's fine, but we're not going to open up the phones on this yet. Did you know prior to this bill or the debate over this bill, certainly yesterday's passage of this bill, that teachers on the clock could go do union stuff and the district would neither be reimbursed nor did the teacher have to take a personal day to do it? In other words, we, you and I and taxpayer Joe and Jane out there, we're all paying for that teacher to go do union activities. Did you know that was happening prior to this bill? I didn't. Did you know prior to this bill that union dues are automatically taken out of the teacher's pay? So we are paying, you, me, taxpayer Joe and Jane out there, we were paying payroll employees in the state's education system to handle the deductions that would go straight to the teachers' union. Did you know that before this bill was debated? I didn't. I'll also say I guess I'm not that surprised, but I didn't know that it was going on. Did you know prior to this bill that unions were allowed to use the taxpayer-funded and school district-owned email systems to reach all teachers? Prior to this bill, I didn't, and I'm betting that you didn't either. Did you know that the employees were on paid leave? I'm going to read this verbatim here. Offer employees paid leave for union activities, although the union could still reimburse districts for paid leave, or employees could use their own sick leave or paid time off. So that's under the bill. But prior to that, teachers could just go do union stuff, not a personal day, not a sick day, and unions weren't reimbursing for that. This is a no-brainer. This bill should not have had a single vote against it. I look at this and I'm like, how long has this been going on? How many millions of dollars have we been paying out over the years so that teachers on our dime could go out and engage in political union activity? Now, let me state this up front because I don't want to get, I'll probably get the feedback anyway. I don't really care about that, but I do want to state this. I'm not saying this is every teacher. In fact, quite frankly, there might be teachers that are saying, this is going to be a boost in my paycheck. Now they might have to write out a check if they want to be a part of the union and do that. But if it passes, again, I'm speaking like it's already a done deal. No, it still has to make its perilous way through the Senate. And depending on which channel it goes through, I think probably business or education, I would imagine. And I hope they don't kill the bill. I really, really hope they don't kill the bill. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. But for of course the unions have survived. And you could argue even thrived because they're getting so much help. They're getting not just monetary subsidies, they're getting work time subsidies. They're getting administrative ability subsidies that they can use school infrastructure to meet. They can use school infrastructure to send out mass emails. They can use school infrastructure for all sorts of things. For any other business or group that has to pay rent and monthly fees for phone systems and space, this is a great business model for them. So, yeah, an end needs to be put to this. I guess I'm not sure. Any one of these is a deal killer. I like the arrangement that we have currently with the unions, but what's going to happen, because you did have a handful, in fact, most, I will say, and this is part of the frustration that I have. You had Ben Furman, Stephanie Mickelson, Aaron Bingham, Manwaring, Raybould, Cheatham, all of them voting against this. What is wrong with you? Why is this okay? Why is it okay for tax? Like, you whine and complain about a very small and modest tax credit allowing parents to pursue different pathways for their kids' education, presumably because you're so incredibly concerned about the education dollars in this state, but you're okay with teachers using taxpayer-funded time with education money, no less, going out and doing union activities? It rings hollow. I got to tell you, the whole lot of you, I'll talk to y'all collectively. It rings hollow when you drone on and on about House Bill 93 because, no taxpayer dollar should ever go outside the public education system. That should never happen. Well, unless it's for union activities for teachers. Look, I'm not going to tell anybody how to vote. I'm really not. We have an election coming up in the primary, but I will tell you, we do have quite the cadre of candidates here, and not candidates, they're actually elected officials that are quite often siding on big issues opposite to what their districts would want. They just are, because I truly believe, you hear the term, well, they're Republicans in you know what we'll call them? Rhino is so overused. I just feel like that term, I get it. Republicans in name only, they're rhinos. And how about this? Duds. Democrats under disguise. I mean, I don't know. We could just mix it up a little. That might be all right. But this is such a no. To me, I'm like, okay, you got to fix this. What is it about the bill that you don't like? Other than you've got a powerful union, by the way, propped up by taxpayers is one of the reasons they're powerful, but they are yakking in your ear. Is that why? Are you really listening? I would challenge every last one of these lawmakers that voted against House Bill 745 to reach out to, at random, 15 different constituents, not your friends, whatever. Get on a voter list, find 10 people, and ask them, should taxpayer funds be going to help out the unions? And just see what they say. Don't couch it. Don't characterize it. Just ask them the basic question, should we be using education tax dollars to allow teachers to do union activities? I will bet you, I would be surprised if any fewer than 7 out of those 10 are going to answer, oh yeah, I'm totally great. Let the unions just kipe our teachers and send them out on union errands at taxpayers. So they're not going to be good with that. We'll be back. It's 8:21 now on News Talk 1079. I can see through the window our Studio 4 cover artist, Musai from BYU, Idaho, will be performing here in a few moments. About 15 minutes, actually. And Julie will rejoin me. We'll talk about Kristi Noem. We'll talk about 745. There are other pieces of legislation that are going through as well. And it's all ahead. And, of course, open lines, open phones Friday right here on News Talk 1079. Back after this. All right, it's 8:25 now. News Talk 1079. Neil Larson along with Julie Mason. And looking forward to our Studio 4 cover coming up. Musai's getting ready, Julie, to
They are. They're
perform
warming
for
up.
us. So someone texted in and said, I love this union bill. And then a cynical point about one of our lawmakers. But I will say this. We will find out how tight the IEA's vice scripts are when this makes its way through the Senate.
Mm-hmm. Do you have that edgy feeling that we're going to have another session where all these bills die in a drawer?
Yes.
I totally have that edgy feeling right now.
Yeah. I feel like we're primed to have that happen.
Was that 3 years ago?
I think the Chuck Winder.
Mm-hmm. Or was it 2 years ago?
He got his rear end handed to him after that?
Mm-hmm. It had to be 2 years ago because elections every 2 years. It had to be 2 years ago.
Yeah, it must have been 2 years ago then. So, Yeah, like I worry about that, but I feel like there is obviously there's consequence for that. So I hope they don't. Guthrie's got an opponent this year. And I think most people like their local senator being on heading up a powerful committee, but they want them to pass bills that should, or at least hear bills that should be heard.
Right. I agree. I don't know how you have a relatively good support. It's not overwhelming support, but relatively good support of a bill.
Yeah.
And then as a senator, you get to go, yeah, I don't really care what all of those lawmakers over there in the House thought. This isn't worth it.
Yeah, I know. It's very disrespectful.
Yeah.
Middle finger. Total middle finger kind of stuff.
Do you think they give each other the middle finger?
Maybe when the lights are off. But
They might.
Yeah. Hey, I had an idea yesterday, Julie, because we haven't talked about the drama unfolding in Montana. With 5 minutes to go before the deadline, Steve Daines withdraws. Nobody really knows why. He had announced 2 weeks earlier and then decides to withdraw right at the end. Zinke is out. He's retiring. And I'm like, what's happening? This is very, very weird. The University of Montana president, he announced his candidacy running as an independent. He is their state's Todd Achilles. So this is an approach. I think they want to create some kind of a national independent party movement, or, I don't think it's going to work. I think people look at it and it's sort of like when you go to, a junior high performance and everyone's acting like they're in the NFL. Like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, and I feel like it's that. They're going to face a pretty stiff brick wall here. However, I've liked Steve Daines. That's a sleazy move to wait until the very end and then 5 minutes before you withdraw. So here's my idea. You will not have anticipated this. And if I had thought of this when we had Secretary McGrain on, I would have asked him about this. I think we need to create a process and a document called a provisional announcement that can be anonymous. So you can go to the Secretary of State, you can file what's called a provisional intent to run, and it becomes active if another candidate withdraws at any moment. So you could go in. A lot of people, they won't run against Mike Simpson, for instance, because he's just been there forever. He's got the organization.
He's probably going to win again.
He's probably going to win again. And you can see a scenario. I'm not accusing Simpson of doing this, but you can see this scenario where to coronate the next person, they will wait
and wait.
And then at the last minute, they do the switcheroo, and it gives the person in the know the heads up. So that's how they can kind of get who they want in there. This would allow people who are thinking about it, but don't want to announce while Simpson's, in the mix, they can file this. Again, it wouldn't be public record. This is a document that is meaningless and has no relevance whatsoever until a certain event happens.
It's an alert, a trigger.
Yes. And in the moment that, in this case, Steve Daines withdraws, that provisional intent to run becomes active and becomes a public record, and then everyone knows. And I think that this would most likely probably do away with those 11th hour withdrawals.
I mean, this is the first time you've mentioned it to me, so I could be missing something. I'm sitting here trying to think, why wouldn't this work? What would be the downside to this?
Yeah.
It's extra work for the Secretary of State. But when you have a super on top of it Secretary of State like we have in Idaho, that's probably not that big a deal.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything else that would be incredibly negative about that.
Yeah.
It's just paperwork. Mm-hmm. Like, everything's digitized. You could have an alert system. I think it would be okay.
Yeah.
I do want to know the inside politics of what's going on in Montana, because things are a little wonky there right now.
Yeah.
You said all the things that you listed. Plus, we have Senator Sheehy, who got in a scuffle at the Capitol.
Yeah.
And because he helped stop the scuffle, it wasn't about him, but he's a former Navy SEAL and he helped bring the guy down. He ended up breaking the guy's arm.
Well, okay.
Kind of.
The guy put his hand on a door and
he pulled him. But Senator, he's a tough dude.
Oh, he is a tough dude.
So when Neil and I were talking about this yesterday and we were going over what was going on in Montana, I said, did the blood moon have some weird effect in Montana we don't know about? Because, wow, there's some strange stuff coming out of Montana over the last 4 days.
It is. It's very, very interesting to see what's happening. Someone said I have a similar idea. For many years, I've said that the official candidate deadline to file for office should be after the party primaries.
So you have to file any time. Wouldn't that be no deadline?
Well, don't you have to file to run in the primary?
Yeah, how are they going to know who to put on the
ballot? I don't know what that, unless it's some joke. I don't know. So nobody should be running for office, but
okay.
I don't know how you would. I'm probably not understanding.
That's the equivalent of no deadline.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. It's 8:33. We're going to break. We'll be back, and Studio 4 covers just ahead. All right, we're back. It's 8:39 on News Talk 1079, and we're super excited to have with us this morning an a cappella singing group from BYU, Idaho, Musai. Is that right, Ruthie?
Yeah, we're Musai.
Musai, okay. I gambled and got it wrong, so but that's
worries.
okay. So we're I got to fix one thing really quick here, and there we go. There we go. Hold on a second. I'm hearing something in my ear. I got to fix this really fast. There we go. Much better. Okay, so Musai. I got it wrong.
There by the end of this.
I got it. Yes, I got it wrong twice. So tell us. This is Ruthie. Ruthie, tell us about Musai.
Yeah, so we're an all women's a cappella group. We all like singing. So we have an audition every semester. It's posted it's different every semester. It's usually the second week. And then we'll get a group of us together. It's anywhere between 10, 15 people. We just sing together. We make music with just our voices, which is, it's just super fun.
Okay. All right. Well, we're excited. We want everyone to have a chance to introduce themselves. So we could just go through and say names, or you could introduce them, whatever you want to do.
Great. Yeah, let's go through and say some names.
Yeah. Okay. Amy, welcome.
I'm Genevieve.
Hi.
I'm Kenzie.
Kenzie.
I'm Caitlin.
Caitlin. Tori. Gracie. Esther? Okay, my wife's name's Esther, so yes.
I'm Ashlyn.
Ashlyn? Emily?
I'm Hannah. I'm
Natalie, okay.
I'm still Ruthie.
And you're Ruthie. You are still. Well, that's great. So I guess tell us a little bit more. You kind of talked about how the group, forms and what it is. What kinds of things do you like to do? What kind of music do you like to sing?
Yeah, so I think it kind of depends on the semester. We've done more pop kind of things. Recently, actually our last show, our theme was throwbacks. So all of the songs that we did were songs from before 2000, except for one of them, which is actually the one that we're going to sing today.
Okay.
It's from 2022, but I had already arranged it, and I was like, it's really good, so we're going to sing it. So.
Okay, I got you. Well, good. Break the rule a little bit, right? That's good. So, okay, and is there a place for social media? Because a lot of listeners hear it, and they're like, I want more of that. So where would they go?
Yeah, so if you want to see what we're up to, you could probably go to the BYUI campus events social media page.
Yeah.
We don't have our own social media page right now. I know that's so sad. Everybody's crying out there. But yeah, that's where you would go to figure out where when our shows are going to be. So
Yeah. Okay. All right. Musai, you ready to perform? All right. You chose a song called The Weather by Lawrence?
Yes.
Okay. We're ready. Everything's rolling. You're good to go.
I
about the weather. Not with you, we're not together. 'Cause even when the sky is gray, I'm feeling blue. And though the winds are always changing and the clouds are rearranging, a part of me will always be in love with you. There's a fire in LA, and since you moved there back in May, I wonder, should I call to see if you're alright? Oh, you're a million miles away, but I still think of you each day and hope the weather doesn't keep you cold at night. So I won't talk about the weather. No, I won't talk about the weather. I won't talk about the weather. Not with you, we're not together. 'Cause even when the sky is gray, I'm feeling blue. And though the winds are always changing and the clouds are rearranging, a part of me will always be in love with you. So I won't talk about the weather. No, I won't talk about the weather. I won't talk about the weather. Not with you, we're not together. And it's hard to say if we will ever be. But I'll admit my greatest fear is that the air will never clear. So I just wish that we could talk like you and me. No, I won't talk about the weather. Not with you, we're not together. But I wonder if we're ever really through. 'Cause if we're talking about whether you and I should be together, oh, I know I'll always be in love with you. Yes, I know I'll always be in love with you.
Musai, that was beautiful. Thank you. Wonderful voices this morning, and you all did a great job. Thank you for coming in. On Studio 4 Covers this morning on News Talk 1079. All right, it's 8:50 now on News Talk 1079. Neil Larson and Julie Mason. And all of you, if you'd like to reach us, 208-542-1079. Sometimes this job's a physical hazard.
Every once in a while, you just keep rolling.
Yeah. All right.
I've said before, if we're anything, we're nimble.
Yeah.
So we just keep doing it.
Musai, they did a good job, and our listening audience loved it. So,
Yeah. Oh, so many compliments.
Yeah.
So many compliments.
yeah. Anyway, big thanks to them for coming up. Okay, Julie, what do you want to talk about? The Idaho legislature, the union thing?
We could. Is there? I'm trying to remember what I sent you last night. Did we have any other? I don't really want to talk about the Iran conflict. So
No. True.
I don't. It's Friday. Let's just. You know what? It's Open Line Friday, you guys. So get ready. Let's do some fun stuff in the 9 o'clock hour. Let's have a good time.
I agree. We will here. We got a
little bit more time here in this hour,
about
but
5 or 6 minutes here before we go. But I do think in the 9 o'clock hour, we're just going to open up the phone lines. I want to know what people are thinking. The legislative session has been quite the ride this year. We've had a number of really interesting, contentious issues, a lot of them budget related. So you can talk about that if you do want to talk about the Iran operation that has gone super success. I mean, already Trump is saying we're way ahead of schedule here. So I think he has a long to-do list. Like, we need to wipe out their Navy. We need to, like you and I are like, we need to go get eggs at the grocery store. Trump says, I need to wipe out Iranians' Navy, and I need to kill the top leaders, and I need to. So doing pretty well that way.
if I was to pick a favorite audio probably of what I sent you yesterday, it was the military personnel. I don't want to get his rank wrong. I don't know if he was a colonel. I don't know if he was a...
Brad Cooper?
Yes.
Admiral.
Yeah. Okay, there we go.
Yep.
So, and when he said, well, yes, Trump was correct when he gave the comment, but we've done more since then. And then he updated. That just sounded so alpha male. It was like, yeah, you even let a few minutes go by. We're going to take care of business.
Yeah. You're like, that's old news in about 3 minutes, and we'll get it updated. So, yeah, no, I saw that, and I thought that he was going to step up to the mic and say, tell me something, girl. But that's a different Bradley Cooper, so.
He would probably punch you if he was here right now.
Probably would punch me, but he probably hears that
Then
joke
we could
a lot.
both be bleeding. How fun.
That could be. To clarify, Julie hit her head.
I hit my head during the whole song thing, so.
Yes.
That'd be fun.
Okay, let's play this. This is Harry Enton of CNN. And
7%. Look at this. 86% of Republicans approve of the job that Donald Trump is doing at this point. That is higher than either Obama or Bush had within their own party at this point. Trump's magic touch has not seemed to wear off yet when it comes to the Republican base.
And what kind of approval are we talking about here?
Okay, so we're talking about overall approval here. How about the strongly approved, not just like, but love. Okay, we're going to look at these same presidents again. Strong approval among your own party's base. What you see here is Trump is the only one who gets a majority at this point in their presidency. Obama was at 48%. Bush was at 47%. You see here Trump at 53%. Not as high as overall approval rating, but still getting a majority of the Republican base, at least in the average of polls, to say that they still really, really, really like him.
Okay.
yeah, they do. How, Julie, if you're the average Trump hater out there, I think they really believe that the only people that like and support Trump are a little fringe group of white Christian nationalists.
No, I do believe that.
And he is doing better with the nation right now, polling-wise, than previous presidents, fairly popular previous presidents, were doing at this point, basically now starting year 5 of an 8-year presidency. He's doing better than Obama was and other presidents. So I don't know what kind of delusional world they live in, but Trump is liked a little better than average in America.
I think that this is not just the Democrats who are pushing a narrative that everybody hates Trump, the world is burning down, blah, blah, blah. I would even say that Dave Smith and Tucker Carlson hint at this, because they want to be so right about everything, and all of their money circles around creating headlines. So if they create a little bit of division, more people listen to them.
Yeah.
So it's coming from within the party as well.
Yeah.
And I don't love that, but we live in a free speech world, and they get to make money however they choose.
Yeah.
And creating that division does make money.
Yeah, it does. In fact, I think that kind of has application to a lot of corners of the media too, that it's just...
But I think when you're just talking general people, I think these numbers are accurate.
I do too. Here, you know what I think it is? Can I do a little math right now? Mm-hmm. Let's say you have a room where you have 10 people, and 3 of them weigh 800 pounds, and 3 of them weigh 50 pounds. Okay, the average of that would be 325 pounds. if I'm doing my math right. No, it'd be 375 pounds. Okay.
Okay, I'm with you.
No, I did the math wrong. Let's say you have 3 people that are 300 pounds.
Okay.
And you have 3 people that are 50 pounds. Okay. This is much better. Then the average of each one of those is about 160 pounds. Okay. That's a pretty average weight for an American, 160 pounds. That doesn't mean the individuals even come close to the average. I do think Trump has really super big-time diehard supporters on one end.
Dialed in.
Very much dialed in. And then he's got some really, really hatred-filled people on the other end. But you mix those together, it turns into a pretty boring average, right?
Yeah.
So I think the polarity measurement of Trump is probably much bigger than it was with Obama or Bush or whatever. But I do think overall, in general, he has good broad support in America. That was the clunkiest math-filled analogy I've ever given.
You got there.
I got there finally.
Yeah.
I was doing it on the fly.
It was the really long route.
It was. Hour 2. Open phones coming up. And we're back. It's 9:07 on News Talk 107.9. Neil Larson along with Julie Mason. And it is Open Phones Friday. So, Julie, we're not even going to set the table. Topically, we're just going to go right to the phones. And we have a caller on the line. Caller, how are you this morning?
Good. You guys do such an awesome job. It's great to have you here in Idaho, letting everyone know what's going on.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
So I wanted to just bring up a point of how incompetent the Democrats are at leadership. When I look back and I look at JFK and what went on with Cuba and the Bay of Pigs, look at Lyndon Johnson and what happened in Vietnam, look at Jimmy Carter when the Shah of Iran, that all went down.
Yeah.
And his failed rescue. But the one that gets me the most is Bill Clinton. Because when the Soviet Union fell and Ukraine, split off, there was the Budapest Memorandum that said, you guys and it was the U.S. behind us, Bill Clinton behind us, you guys give up all your nuclear weapons and we'll stand behind you. We've got your back. Well, America's not always the greatest friend because administrations change and the whole dynamic changes. And so if Ukraine had not done that, and I blame them because they trusted the United States, which doesn't always go well. If they would have maintained their nuclear weapons, Russia would have never touched them. And now here we are in this quagmire, and it's just every time these Democrats touch leadership, it just goes to crap. And, it's just frustrating. And now we have to clean up the messes. And here we are.
I couldn't agree with you more. They absolutely create messes. And then I think one of the big tasks of Republican administrations is coming in and cleaning up the messes that Democrats make.
Yeah, and here we are.
We're essentially janitors. That's what we do.
It's the custodial crew.
Yes.
Yeah, we run the daycare and have to clean up the diapers.
Yes, that's true. That's true. No, I think that's. I mean, look right now. Look at the mess that we have in healthcare. We had our open enrollment meeting yesterday, and thankfully, we have some really good insurance people that work really hard, and they're very creative, and they've kept. I wouldn't even say the premiums are affordable, but they didn't spike from the previous year. And they found a creative way to give us pretty good coverage and not have that happen. But you look at the cost of healthcare and how it's spiraling out of control, and it's exactly what we said was going to happen when Obamacare was passed. What was that, 15 years ago, 14 years, something like that? When they passed that, we thought, okay, This is going to cause healthcare to spike and spiral out of control. But they wanted what they wanted, and now everybody hates the healthcare economy. Not healthcare, but they hate the healthcare economy that we have right now. And we can directly trace that to Barack Obama. Look at what's happening with Mamdani in New York. I mean, it's already starting to come unraveled there. So anyway, caller, go ahead.
Exactly. Thank you for bringing up the health care issue. Did you see the senator that took Bernie Sanders to task? There's a little clip of it. It's just a short little thing. So Bernie Sanders is, ranting about health care and how we've got to fix this. And the senator, finally someone says it. Says, look, you got exactly what you said. You guys pushed this down our throat, and now this is what we've got. And what I loved about him, he says, Bernie, you've been here longer than I've been alive, and you fixed nothing. You fixed nothing. And, these guys who have been there forever and have done nothing, and we've got our own guys here in Idaho. Really, all the things going on, and all we talk about is salmon and breaking dams. And then the Crapo, I brought this up to you over a year ago or something with Crapo, who's on the banking committee. And I don't know if you guys are paying attention at all to the precious metals market, but the manipulation and what's going on now is unbelievable. And he has sat there. Now, either he's dumb and doesn't pay attention to what's going on, or he's been complicit in it. And I know which one it is. But we're headed for some very interesting times financially.
Well, I hope that part of what you've said today is wrong. But you could well be right.
Well, take my number down. We'll have this talk in another 6 months.
Okay. All right. I appreciate the call. Thank you so much. 208-542-1079. I do not check the precious metals market every day.
I don't either.
Let's go back to the phones. Caller, welcome to the show. How are you today?
Doing well. How are you guys?
I think we're doing pretty well.
So it's very interesting, your last caller about Democrats causing all these problems and Republicans have to come in and mess them up. I want to go back several years in history, back to the time 47 years ago when the Iranian Revolution was occurring. And they took all the hostages there in Iran that were there held for 444 days. You guys won't even remember this because it's before your time, but Idaho Congressman George Hansen flew to Iran. He visited the hostages. He actually had a meeting with moderate leaders in Iran after the Shah had departed. And he had a plan worked out, a deal worked out, and came home. And the Carter State Department and the Carter administration refused to work with these moderates. And they helped to force the Shah out and allow the Ayatollahs to take over. And you know what we've had for the last 47 years.
Yeah.
But there was a deal, and because it was this Republican Idaho congressman that had put it together, they didn't want him to have any credit or someone outside of their orbit having any credit for trying to solve the issue there. And there were some good moderate leaders in Iran at that time that could have saved Iran from all the turmoil that's happened.
Yeah.
So just a bit of history, and it's sort of a forgotten tidbit, but it could have changed world events.
Well, you know what? Thank you. I appreciate you putting some more detail and context around that. I knew the little detail that George Hansen had flown over there to negotiate something, but Julie, you and I were 6
Yeah, we
at
were
the
young.
time, so we were too young to be paying much attention then. I was still playing with Tinker Toys at that point.
Well,
but
I know what I'm talking about because after that, I worked for Mr. Hansen for several years.
Oh. Were you based in D.C. or were you here in the state?
I was in Idaho.
Okay. I'm sure that was interesting times.
Yes, it really was.
Yeah. Well,
All right.
thank you. I appreciate that and appreciate that background.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So.
Isn't history full of couldas?
Yeah.
Wouldas, shouldas.
Yeah. You think about Iran, and I mean, you and I weren't paying attention. I think I was 9 when I started paying attention to geopolitics. But no, I
wrote an essay.
It's true. After I went to Young Astronauts, then we I'd always kind of known that Iran, like, if you don't have that knowledge base, and if you're not very old, you would just think Iran is just another Middle East country that's never been developed. And it's like, Afghanistan is a good example. And, but no, Iran used to look like other well-developed European nations. And they had great infrastructure. They had a wide array of freedoms. And I'm seeing more of the video footage and the photographic pictures that have come out of that time when women were dressed. They looked like Americans, and they were teaching school, and they were working, and it was like It's sad that you had that able to happen in the modern era, that you would have this radical Islamic group come in and take over that country. And I like the fact, this is sort of my main point here that I'm taking a long time to get to. I like the fact that footage, those images, that identity of Iran is starting to become more prevalent, that we're seeing it more. And I think there's a direct reason. I think those people now have hope of a return to that.
That we can get back to that. For me, there's another added layer of sadness to everything that you just said, that you destroyed a country, a beautiful country. You destroyed a culture that is now clawing its way back to civility. The added layer of sadness is that we refuse to learn from history. If Mamdani has his way in New York, this is exactly what would happen. And this would be his game plan. To change New York. And that's just one small portion, a high population, but one small portion of our overall geographical country. But they have plans in other areas. It's not just there.
Yeah. No, it's true. Let's go back to the phones. Caller, welcome. How are you today?
Good morning, Neil and Julie.
Hi.
It's a beautiful day today.
Yes, it is.
So, I wasn't planning on calling, but when you were talking just now about Iran, my dad actually worked for Boeing back in the 70s, and he and my stepmom and my brother lived over there. And it was, pretty lucrative for him. They paid Boeing well. He was teaching workers how to maintain the Shah's aircraft. And, they really liked it over there, even though it was really hot. But it was really a great Western type country, and when I hear all this stuff about Iran through the years, it's just been really heartbreaking for me, because I know those people. There's always challenges, no matter who's in charge, but they have seen so much. Oh gosh, the tyranny and the pain. I don't know. Just how they've killed over 30,000 of them because they want freedom, and we don't appreciate that so much here. We've just always known freedom, and so I just don't think we have any idea. And to see all the people that are celebrating in New York and different places, that they have hope for freedom now. It's beautiful to see. But I do know from that perspective. My dad had to get out of there. They put him on a bus, the workers, the Boeing employees, and he told me they had to lie down on the floor because they didn't know if the buses would get shot up and get out of there, just in the days before the Shah was deposed. And so, I've always kind of watched Iran just because of that.
Yeah, it is. It's a sad story, but I think we may see a brighter future for Iran. If this is going to be the window, though, this is the opportunity to make it happen.
Yeah, and through the years, Trump has said Iran cannot get a nuclear bomb. He's been very adamant about that. He's back 70s, 80s, something like that. He's always been pretty open about that. Yeah. And I think he's got a good infrastructure of his leadership that can help get this done. And I just keep praying for our leadership that they'll have the guidance they need. And we need to be supportive, I think, because they've already committed to doing that. And so, we just need to pray for the best outcome and think of our troops and pray for them as well.
Yeah, agreed. Carrie, thank you, and good luck. How's your campaign going, by the way?
Oh, I think it's going really well. People have been very supportive and generous, and
good.
And we're just going ahead. I write a Substack every week, and I actually wrote one this week about Iran and kind of why we're there. So I don't know if people want to look at that, but yeah, I feel like my biggest thing is to share information and hopefully get people engaged in appreciating what we have here. And we love Idaho, and we've got to protect the values that we have. So,
agreed.
Anyway, thanks for asking.
You bet, Carrie. Thank you, and thank you for the call. 9:22 on News Talk 107.9. Let's take a break. We'll come back and we'll continue with our open lines. If you'd like to reach us, you can talk about Iran. You can talk about the ouster of Kristi Noem. You can talk about the Idaho legislative session, particularly the bill that passed the House about the unions. And I want to ask you a question about that when we get back. Okay, Julie? All right, it's all coming up. 9:23. There's a psycho in my head. I'll sing it before you do.
Okay.
Yep.
After 25 years, illusionist David Copperfield's Las Vegas residency is ending.
Oh, really?
You better get down there. I know you haven't seen it.
Hurry, because it's disappearing. Who knows? Maybe it'll magically reappear in Branson or something. I don't. Did you grow up sort of enamored with David Copperfield? Like I did.
Did you? I don't know if I'd say enamored, but I remember being when it would come back in my aura, like maybe every other year, oh, that guy's pretty cool. You know, I didn't give a lot of thought to it when it wasn't ever present, though.
Do you remember when he made the Statue of Liberty disappear?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, it was a big network TV. It was 1983. For some reason, I thought that was in the 90s.
Yeah, you weren't very old. 10.
Yeah. Copperfield seated the audience on a large rotating platform facing the Statue of Liberty. Two tall towers held a giant curtain that was raised between the audience and the statue. While the curtain was raised, the entire audience platform slowly rotated by a few degrees. The rotation was extremely slow and masked by dramatic lightning, helicopter noise, music, and the curtain movement. Because the platform rotated, the audience was no longer looking at the statue when the curtain dropped. They were looking at empty sky beside it.
So if they had just turned, they could see the Statue of Liberty?
I think the towers were obscuring it. So the towers were holding the curtain. So here's the statue here, and it just slowly shifted to here, and then it was slow enough you couldn't feel the rotation, apparently.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Have you ever ate in a rotating restaurant?
Yeah, the Space Needle. Yeah.
You really, if you really concentrate, you can feel it. But if you're busy talking or doing something else, you can't feel it.
Yeah, I know. You just talk and you look up and you're like, oh, that's a new view. Mm-hmm. Oh, somebody's bringing... Somebody brought bugles.
Somebody brought us bugles.
Do you know who brought them?
He said,
oh.
tall. He's leaving.
Oh, here we go. We got to go back.
Very
Thank
nice
you,
of
Aaron.
him. Thank you.
Is it James?
I don't know.
All right, at 9:27 now on News Talk 107.9. Like magic, Julie. We're just talking about David Copperfield, but yesterday we talked about bugles because we just stumbled into it. And
It was on the post show, I think, right?
Yes, it was. Was it on the post show?
I don't remember for
I
certain.
think it was. I forget. Anyway, so we were talking about this. Well, Julie talked about elk bugling, and then it expanded
Actually, I think
into.
this was on the real show. I think it
Was
was
it?
on the real show because we got a couple of texts going, what are you guys doing?
Yeah. So we started talking about the snack, the bugles, which is made by General Mills. Is that right? I think we said
I think that's
General
what we
Mills.
decided.
And anyway, so we were shamelessly soliciting a big endorsement deal from General Mills over I mean, it was a joke. But somebody just dropped off a bag full of bugles. Like there's 3 different kinds of flavors of bugles in there.
Yeah, so we've got a ranch flavor. I think there's 4.
Okay.
Tabasco. Oh my gosh, you're in love.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I can have like 3, but
You're in love with that. Its tagline is hot and cheesy.
I'm claiming
that is
that
you.
one. I'm claiming that one.
You can have them.
I'm claiming that. I didn't even know this.
Then there's the original flavor. And then nacho cheese.
Oh, there's 5 bags here.
Who knew there was this many?
Salt and vinegar bugles?
Oh, my heart. I'm so happy.
Somebody just dropped like $20 on bugles for us.
Oh, you guys are the best.
What's the last one?
That's nacho.
Nacho, okay.
So original, nacho, salt and vinegar, ranch, and Tabasco. Or hot and cheesy.
I don't know. We did not get a name. They just said they're the secret admirer. So whoever is our secret admirer who brought us bugles 4 minutes ago, thank you.
You are so awesome.
All right. You know what, Julie? Our listeners are awesome.
They are. Salt and vinegar, who knew?
My mouth is watering.
Tabasco, who knew?
I know. We're going to try this during the commercial break. I had no idea. Anyway, General Mills, we love bugles. We could sell a lot of bugles for you, General Mills. I'm just saying.
We should cut a whole video and just send it to them.
Right. There's a whole lot more of this where this came from. General Mills. So that's funny. You know what we should talk about, Julie? Advanced Windows for just a moment.
Okay.
Because we love our friends at Advanced Window Products, Scott and Todd. They're just nice dudes. But actually, when it comes to what they really offer is great windows and great savings when you purchase 10 windows or more. Now, we have told you many times about how they manufacture their own windows. They guarantee the windows for life. And they will, when I say guarantee, even if the knucklehead neighbor kid throws a baseball through your window, they'll come back and replace it. So if you take a look at your windows and you see maybe some warping or you see some condensation in your window panes, or maybe just hold your hand up like an inch inside the window, if you feel that cold, then that might mean you need an upgrade for your windows for energy conservation.
These guys are great too. You're going to get amazing customer service. This is not just us saying it. We've heard from our listeners about how wonderful they've been to them based upon our recommendation. And they will answer the phone. You're not going to get some automated phone call. They stay in touch with you. They really do follow you from the very beginning until the end, which is not determined because it's a lifetime warranty. You might be talking to them in 10 years or 12 years.
Yeah.
And the company's been around for 40 years, so they're not going anywhere. Give them a call, 208-852-8685. That's 208-852-8685.
Okay, we're going to break. It's 9:31. Julie and I are going to try some bugles. I can't have very many, but I will try them.
Okay.
And we'll tell you how they are.
All right.
All right, we'll be back after the news. Okay.
We need to take a picture with them first.
Okay.
Who can I get? Hold on.
Should we just go up front and have Aaron take it?
We'll be right back, you guys. Really fast. We're going to be right back. You want to grab your phone?
Okay, you're trying the salt and vinegar?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. We got 2 or 3 minutes here.
Somebody says the best part is the top. Do they mean the little point because it's crunchy?
I don't know. I've never paid attention.
Those are so good.
They're really good.
Oh
Holy.
my gosh, that's so good. Are those good?
Yeah, okay, McDonald's CEO, pay attention. This is how you eat food and enjoy it. Holy crap, that is so good.
Okay, yum.
Okay, these are not hot. Do you want to try them?
Mm-hmm. Hot and cheesy. Who says we should nominate Neil's new name as Tabasco? Because the tagline says hot and cheesy.
I think Neil has to be on board with this. Point of order.
Heavy on the cheesy part.
Okay, 3 of these. Oh, I like the salt and vinegar.
I can't decide if I like that Tabasco.
Said no one ever.
There's like a weird aftertaste. Maybe it's the mix between the...
Cheese and the...
Maybe that's what it is.
I like the salt and vinegar a lot. That's good.
Yeah. Whomever brought the bagels, the bugles, I needed that because the head, I needed something to cheer me up. I think it's scabbed enough I can feel.
Oh, is it? Oh, it's not in your eyebrow? I thought it was in your eyebrow.
No, it is right there.
Oh, no, like there's a little bubble thing of blood right there in your eyebrow.
It was dripping clear down.
Okay, I thought you had kind of smeared the blood up, but
it was
down.
dripping clear down when it started.
Holy.
That's why I thought I was going to have to keep holding pressure and not be able to video.
Oh.
But I wasn't going to leave. They're in the middle of singing. Like
Right.
There is. I can feel it. All scabby right there.
All right, here we go. All right, 9:36. Welcome back. It's the Neil Larson Show. It is Open Phone Friday, and if you'd like to join us on the program, 208-542-1079. So, Julie, here's the question that I wanted to ask you. House Bill 745, for me, like that was the sleeper issue.
Mm-hmm.
I really wasn't expecting to have a really good, exciting union-busting bill go through the legislature this year.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. Let's be honest about who voted in East Idaho against this.
Yeah.
I'm not at all surprised that Mickelson and Bingham voted against this.
No.
And I think Erin would proudly wear the moniker I'm about to give her.
Yeah.
She is 100% involved with teachers, 100%. And I think, like I said, I think she would proudly wear that. So I don't say she shouldn't be involved in teachers or education. I just don't know if I would be involved with the teachers union as a default for that.
Yeah.
She can choose whatever she wants, but I wasn't the least bit surprised that Bingham voted against this. And of course, Mickelson, as per your handy dandy.
I would have been surprised if she had voted the other way.
Yes.
Like this has just become sort of expected. So my question for you, do you remember the not $1 more people and the panic tour that they went on? And then I think there were people who were sympathetic toward that, but that felt a little too hyper political. So they were against House Bill 93, which is parental choice tax credit.
Right.
But so they didn't join the panic tour formally, but they were supportive of that because they didn't like House Bill 93. Okay. I think Kevin Cook's probably a pretty good example of that. So we heard over and over and over about how important it was that every single dollar that goes to public education is sacred. And that if we're going to spend $1 on education in Idaho, it should go to K through 12. Okay, now think through this then. If you're that concerned about the sacredness of the taxpayer dollar going to education, shouldn't you have a problem with teachers on the taxpayer clock going out and doing union stuff? I mean, are you not concerned that union activity using our payroll system, using our, and I say our, meaning the taxpayer, using our payroll system, our email system, our phones, our space for your organization activities, not a dollar more should go to the unions within K through 12.
Right. I knew exactly where you're going with this because the whole not a dollar more thing, they want to decide what happens with the money.
Yeah.
They want you to give the money and then zip it. Shut your mouth. Don't talk about it. We know better. We need all of the money, and then you don't get to have an opinion.
Yeah.
And I completely disagree with that. There is a whole group of people, including several East Idaho lawmakers, who are perfectly fine with the teachers union sticking their hand in the pie.
Yeah. So can I ask another question, Julie? You know business. You're a business owner. You've run businesses. How easy would it be to be successful if somebody else was paying for your phone system, if somebody else was paying for your customer contact list, if somebody else was paying for the space where you are working and operating? I mean, that's a pretty easy business to keep afloat, I think, if you're offloading somebody else is paying for the labor, part of your labor to show up and do work for you.
Absolutely.
Like, that's a pretty easy business model to keep afloat.
Yeah.
So, and I think that I praise the legislature, and I would applaud the 75% of the Republicans who voted for this for recognizing this issue and saying, we're cutting you off. You want to be a union? That's fine. You do it on your own dime and on your own time.
Yeah. Okay. So let's dive into this a little bit. Let's have a nuanced conversation. They've been pretty frustrated that the police union, the firefighters, they're not included in this because apparently they think they're doing the same thing. What would be your response to that, to their frustration that they have with that?
You know what? I think that part of the problem that I have here, this doesn't actually address your core issue, but I will get to that. I think that the problem with the teachers union is how robustly they campaign and engage in partisan politics. That's the problem that I have. Do I think there should probably be a better dividing line of demarcation in police and firefighters? Yeah, I think there should. The union's a private organization. They should be paying their own bills. And if they're utilizing taxpayer resources, at the very least, the taxpayer should be reimbursed. So if you're going to use a phone system, but I also think, too, you just look at the extent of it. We have tens of thousands of teachers in Idaho. I don't think we have an equivalent number of firefighters and cops. So just the scope of it is massive here. But I don't think that firefighters unions are utilizing the infrastructure the way teachers unions are using it.
Yeah. Okay. So if I was to answer my question as a follow-up to what you just said, I would say there's probably cities where there were times, especially maybe 15, 20 years ago before the whole BLM movement, there were times where especially the police union kind of ran the city.
Yeah.
When Democrats and law enforcement were a little more buddy-buddy.
Yeah.
With each other, but we have slowly kind of severed that relationship. And I don't think we were experiencing that buddy-buddy moment as much in Idaho, to a far lesser degree. I do believe the buddy-buddy stuff with campaigns is happening with the teachers union, though.
Yeah, I do too.
And so I would back up the lawmakers in saying this is a far bigger concern than the other ones that you're bringing up. We can evaluate those, and we'll evaluate those separately. But this is a far bigger concern because it is changing the landscape of politics.
Yeah, it is, and I think that's so good. I hope it makes it through the Senate. I worry, though, you and I are really twitchy about this because the Senate is operating very weird this year. Very few votes, very few bills.
Kind of hanging out.
And I look, okay, here's my question, and maybe I'm speaking without enough knowledge here, because I'll lead with, there are things I may not know, all right? So I could be wrong. Mm-hmm. But if you were to talk to Senator Guthrie, who chairs Senate Affairs, he would say, in fact, there's been efforts to limit the number of bills an individual lawmaker can introduce because they'll get inundated.
A flood.
I think so. Like, who's the swimmer? The Michael
Phelps.
Yeah, Michael Phelps. What Michael Phelps is to gold medals, Jordan Redmond is to pieces of legislation. he puts a lot through, and that's not a criticism. I like active lawmakers. In fact, I prefer that because the idea of a lawmaker going over there and just hanging out and voting when you vote, but not doing much. I mean, I don't know.
Not addressing concerns or getting rid of laws that aren't important, or
that's not to say that I think we should have a high bill count. I would just like fewer bills that are high quality rather than a whole bunch of
absolutely
quality over quantity. Anyway, that doesn't matter. But he would say, well, yeah, we've just been way too inundated. Mm-hmm. And so we can't get them through. Well, here you are in first week of March, almost the second week of March. What were you doing January and February that there is now such a big backlog of bills? And why can the House get stuff through? They've passed quite a few. I don't know how they compare historically, but why is the pace? You can't complain about both the quantity of bills and defend the slow pace of the Senate.
Mm-hmm. Right. Before you take the call, Jordan Redmond will be joining us on Monday.
Good. Okay.
Yeah, 7:30. So, yeah, he has been a very active lawmaker this session. So if you want that information, 7:30 on Monday.
Okay. Let's go to the phones, 208-542-1079. Caller, how are you?
Fine. Are you talking to me?
Yep. You're up.
Okay. I belong to both the union and management. And the unions are just another business. Their goal is to make money for the union. They saying that they represent whoever they're union for, but it's they're selling in labor. Somebody else sells lumber or whatever. And the money that the union goes, I agree with you, they pull lots of money in, and majority of it does not go to support members in the union. We need management to step up and be fair to the employees. We learned that if we're good to our employees, we don't have a union. But if the management is out of hand, then they can take advantage of the employees. If the union's out of hand, again, they take advantage of the employees, and it's bad for the business. California has a strong teacher union, but they cannot support all the debt that they have that they owe the teachers as they retire. They are underwater big time. The California Teachers Union, California Government Employees Union.
Yeah.
So unions out of hand, not in control, can wreak havoc.
Yeah. No, I think that's a very good point. And it's almost like it's down to they're fighting over who gets to mistreat the teachers.
Yeah.
Which organization gets to I don't mean that literally, so I don't want to hear from our education people. Like I don't think teachers are mistreated, but I've the call based on what you said earlier. I do think they may not be mistreated, but I do think they do get exploited.
Yeah. My in-laws belonged to a union for many years as journeymen, and when it was time to vote, you just take the union card that they can send them in the mail, and you go down the ballot and just vote strictly what the union said. And then he'd complain who got in. I said, but you voted for him. No, I didn't. I just voted what the union told me to vote for. How crazy is that?
Yeah.
Anyway, that's just my perspective.
Thank you for your perspective. 208-542-1079.
Mm-hmm. Really staunch union people would say, no, it doesn't just come down to being treated well. When an organization gets so large, you lose that I don't know, that intimacy between boss and employee.
Yeah.
You might be able to keep that with a company of under 40 or 50 employees. But once you hit a certain level, I think union members would say it can't be just the boss will treat the employees good because it's so vast.
Yeah.
Our needs aren't going to be met. That's fine. If that's how you feel and you need to unionize and come together and represent each other, that's fine. Don't use taxpayer dollars to do it.
Yeah.
No one's saying you can't get together and represent yourself. Just don't use taxpayer dollars.
What entitled them to feed at that trough in the first place? Like, I don't know why we even got to the point we got. I think they did it because they could.
Mm-hmm.
I think but the point you made earlier, Julie, is spot on. Somewhere along the line, they lost that line of demarcation, and pretty soon the union and the teaching corps just sort of became kind of just a fused entity.
Like conjoined twins.
Yeah, sort of. And so they're like, yeah, those are our phone systems, and yeah, that's our email list, and yeah, that. And I think this new law, if it gets passed, if this bill gets passed into law, that just redraws a boundary that should have been in place the whole time.
Well, let's talk about the elephant in the room really quick, because I think this is actually the crux of the law.
Yeah.
But I think it's okay. Let's just admit it. Let's call it out for what it is, which is the union is wealthy.
Yeah.
They are very wealthy. They're not the collecting arm of their organization. Can you imagine if somebody else made sure, like, okay, I own a gym.
Yeah.
And I have the capability to tell a bookkeeping system, oh, you're going to automatically pay me. And then I don't have to track down the money.
Right.
That's why the union is wealthy. They're not having to track down the money. It automatically comes out of paychecks.
They are reducing all their friction to their money flow. And at the taxpayer expense.
I don't think they're wanting to highlight that as much, that's what this bill's about. I don't care. Bring it to the sunshine.
Yeah.
There's a reason the union is so wealthy.
Yeah.
They don't have to work very hard to get their money.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I saw some quote, the union, the leader of the IEA, whining about this bill, and it's demoralizing. You know what? Grow up.
Where's the what? Where's the meow meow? Where's the violins?
Oh yeah, we did. This is a meow meow moment, isn't it? It is definitely a meow meow moment.
Premier meow meow moment.
Okay, I got like too many pages of bumper music here, so hold on one second. Okay, here it is. I mean, the thing is, you know what you get in America? You know what you're guaranteed in America? You get to exist.
Mm-hmm.
If you're an organization like a union. But they feel like they're entitled to feed at this public trough that is so, and of course they're whining. They've just become accustomed to feeling like they have a successful organization when all these other things have been outsourced at taxpayer expense that they don't have to worry about paying for.
That's not you determining their mantra. That's not me determining. They did it. They told you. Listen to them.
Yeah.
They said not a dollar more. They believe they own your tax dollars.
They do. They do.
That is not us saying it. They said it.
I'm getting a little more convinced that it may be the unions that are driving this whole thing, because House Bill 93 is a dollar going elsewhere that isn't going to go into their coffer.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they hate that.
They think they have the right to every dollar.
Yeah. All right, we got a break. It's 9:53, News Talk 107.9. We'll come back. We'll wrap it up after this. So if I were really impish, I would file, I don't know if it's a lawsuit, but I'd file some court document demanding that I get to use the school's email list to market the Neil Larson Show.
Why isn't everything available to everybody who has a side gig?
And you know what else I'm going to do? I'm going to use their payroll system to have automatic deductions to a Patreon account for us.
Every teacher's like, no, I hate them.
Yeah.
We have a listener, a husband of a teacher.
Yeah.
He says, my wife has been a teacher for 25 years. The only thing the union has done for her is give her crappy coworkers that would be fired in any other job sector.
Amen.
Yeah, most of her coworkers are great, but there's some that make her job so miserable. She has a harder time with teachers than students.
Oh, wow.
That's a real bad Yelp review. This person says, I have legislative dialogue fatigue.
So do we.
We're there too.
Yeah.
Yep, we're there. We were talking about it a couple of mornings ago.
Mew, 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 mew.
Okay, how stupid do those pictures look?
Oh, I didn't even look. Let's see. Here we got a minute.
Oh, I'm okay with that.
Okay.
I've had worse. Just don't zoom in on us too much.
Oh, I didn't even know you were making a face.
Yeah, that's why. That's why I said I didn't smile.
Okay.
Yeah, just don't get too close. Like, keep it.
You look the same in all of yours, so I'm going to find the best one of me.
Okay, and then just don't zoom in. Just stay out.
Okay.
The bugles are so good.
They really are good, General Mills. It's 9:57 on News Talk 107.9. We have about a minute. 208-542-1079. That's the number to call if you're listening to the show. It's also the number that General Mills marketing executives can call about our Proactive Bugles endorsement.
Look, we can be friends. They can text us. Just text that number. We'll chat back and forth. Slide into our DMs.
That's true. We're here. We're available. And caller, you have about 15, 20 seconds. Go ahead.
So one of my biggest issues with unions is it doesn't matter if it's the teachers' unions, the police unions, or whatever's unions, is protect your own mentality. That's why we have bad cops. That's why we have bad teachers. That's why we have bad employees at these places where you're forced to be a union. So I'm all for forcing, if you want to be a part of that, you stroke a check to join that every month.
Yeah, agreed. Thank you. We're going to let you go. And made your point very, very concisely. Good job. Everyone have a wonderful weekend and be safe. And we'll be back here Monday.
Okay.